Hi, y'all. Cheryl here. It's been a minute, but I got some stuff I want to share with you. First, I want to talk about, and I've been wanting to do this for a minute, but something's just come up that reminded me. Cheryl, go ahead and do this video. So, I want to talk about using AI in the work that we do. A very, very good friend of mine has a process that he uses, with the folks that he works with to do research and things like that. And uh, some folks do the questioning, create this for me and that for me, and forget to take the ChatGPT thing out of the bottom of the paper before they turn it. So I'm like, okay, let me just say a little bit of something about that because I use it. Okay, so and y'all know I write a lot. I have my Medium blog. I have a Substack now, um, and I just I have content all over the place, and I've been writing for a very long time. So I appreciate what AI has brought to the table to to help me do things faster, help me do especially research, faster, and I don't know, it's really enhanced, the things that I do. However, it's still important to, and as a writer, those of you out there who write, even if you don't write, you can do any kind of artistic thing, which could be anything or everything, but we definitely want to maintain our integrity. We want to maintain our authenticity and our trustworthiness. Okay. Which is really important. Okay. And that's not something that I would need to say to another artist. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So, so I want to talk about that. Then I want to go over some modules, some really cool cybersecurity modules that I think will bring a lot of value to you all. So the first thing is the integrity, right? Maintaining integrity. When you're using generative AI, be it ChatGPT or whoever, all those folks out there. Um, integrity. Now, integrity is not about uh, probably what you think it's about. It's more, integrity is like, I have a vision and I have an intent today. Today, this is my vision and my intent. So I'm going to stay true to that. This is my goal. I'm going to stay true to that. I'm going to do the things I need to do to get to that. I said, I'm going to, okay. Not my friend is going to, my brother's going, no, I'm going to do that. This is my vision. Okay. And I'm going to help and I'm going to bring it about. And as is the case with everything in life, everything, we have collaborators, right? That help us reach our goals, whether it's something as mundane as just, my goal is to compete in in some kind of weight training thing or whatever. A collaborator is going to be the gym, the weights that I'm using, uh, the meals that I'm purchasing, so I can get enough protein. All of that stuff is a collaborator, okay, to help me get to where I'm going to go. So when I get on the stage and I win the award doesn't go to the gym people, it doesn't go to the folks who sent me the meals. They got paid by the month for that service, okay. So I get it, okay. I did the work, I had the vision, I had the intent, I stayed true to it. That's my reward, okay. So that it's the same thing here. Like, there's nothing different going on here, okay. You use your generative AI tool as a collaborator, okay, the way you would use, you're looking for opinions about your artwork. Hey, what do y'all think? Or, I mean, I don't know how, if artists do that or whatever, or if you write songs or something, does that sound right? Your song coach, what else do I need to do here? What do you think? It's that same kind of thing. All right. So we want to maintain our integrity, and all that entails is that we do the work. Like, the work is still being done by us, right? Um, and the generative AI tool is a collaborator in that. So that's integrity. Now, authenticity. Authenticity is about, it's like your fingerprint. Okay. So somebody can look at that painting and say, Cheryl did that. That's her. I don't even need to read the name on the thing. I know she did it because that's like her signature, like she's the only one who really does that kind of thing. Or you can listen to a song and say, I can tell somebody, that person wrote that song. She might be singing it, okay, but this person wrote it, you know. I remember I was reading this author, I forget her name, I don't know, but I was like she had like 9 books in the series, and I couldn't wait for like book 9 to come out, okay. Child, I bought that book. I started reading that book. I said, she did not write this. There's no way she wrote this book. Okay. Uh Clearly somebody else wrote it. So I don't know. I'm sure a ghostwriter did it or whatever. I don't know. But what I do know that whoever wrote that one did not write the last 8. Okay. That's what I mean by authenticity. Like it was not her authentic work. I don't care what nobody say. Okay. It just wasn't. That was not her fingerprint. Okay. So same thing. So whatever you're creating using your generative AI tool, can somebody look at it and say, okay, yeah, I can tell you did that. Yeah. Again, it's about that goes hand in hand with the integrity, right? I have a vision, I have an intent, I'm going to follow it through. And now here comes the authenticity. It's me following through. Once you have the intent and you're good on that, the authenticity kind of comes with that, because if my intent and my vision is to compete in a weight training, whatever, and I got the gym membership and the food's delivered and all that is going good. Somebody else can't work out for me and eat those meals for me. Okay. That, that's crazy. So authenticity kind of goes along with integrity. All right. So if I had a thing, so I'm the one, doing it. So it's like my finger. Oh yeah, I can tell that Cheryl, um, wrote this song or planted this garden, or whatever, constructed this bridge. Okay, whatever the case is. Now the last one is trustworthiness. Now this one is interesting. Okay, because trustworthiness is not about me. Okay, it's about you. It's about you saying, or the person reading my content, or the person looking at, a painting in a museum. It's about them saying, I am going to depend on this piece, this book, let's say, for instance, to give me the experience that I've previously had. Okay, I'm going to, so the person who's reading the thing or looking at the painting or, watching the movie or, whatever it is, you have a goal. All right, that's to be distracted. I have a goal to be happy, a goal to, I don't know, to laugh, to get my spirits up, because I've been sad for a long time. Whatever your goal is, you are depending on this person, this book, this movie, this whatever, to help you get there. All right. So trustworthiness is about you, and whether the piece that I wrote or the song that I sang or whatever can do that depends heavily on the first two. If I maintain my integrity and my authenticity, you know, throughout. Okay, so it's not rocket science. It isn't hard to do, because so you're using AI just as a collaborator in what you're doing, and that will ensure you maintain the control of all of that stuff, that you maintain your integrity and you maintain your authenticity. Okay, now when I ask AI to, create a image. Okay, now I had the idea about it, right? But I didn't make that. Okay, I did not make that. So, the same way, if I'm writing a book right now, okay, and I think I don't know. I may need an illustrator for it. It depends, but I draw them pictures, so the illustrator, if I get one, of course they're going to get the credit because that wasn't me. I didn't do that. All right. So, and that's not a big deal for creatives either. Okay. Is if someone, uh, so I said, if a digital person or a human person, okay, actually contributed the work, then we have no problem saying that, right? We have no problem saying that. Just like other contributors. So on my Substack, I noticed that if somebody else contributes to the story, like we can put their name there, which I think is absolutely awesome. And folks, we do it all the time. We do it all the time. No problem with that. All right, so that's the ChatGPT part. Now I want to show you. It's been forever since I've been on StreamYard, so give me a second here. Okay, and I'm paying for this thing, so I need to use it. What does that mean? Okay, is this gonna... Am I doing the right thing? Okay, present. I need to present. Yes. I need to share my screen. Yes, I gotta do that. Entire, I guess it would be this one. Share. Hey, from business. All right. Now these are modules. If y'all aren't on Trailhead, you got to get over here. Okay, there's just some wonderful stuff. So of course there's a cybersecurity trail, but I mean, Salesforce has a lot of fabulous things. Like if you're into marketing and software and a bunch of other stuff, you should really just go to Trailhead and look to see what kind of trails they have. It's down here with the trails. Right there, you can see what kind of things they have, but that's not what this video is for. So this first one, cybersecurity certificates and certifications. All right, now this, in the beginning here, it's about the difference between the two. What's a certificate and what's a certification? Okay, hold on, with my glasses on so I can see. All right, and there are differences between the two. A certificate is not the same thing as a certification. All right. So the differences are here. Like this is where the focus is. The focus on a certificate is getting that knowledge together. Certification most times is applying it. Now this isn't black and white. Okay, you can have some overlap in these things. Sometimes certificates are more immersive than the certification, right? But the point is, what you get at the end, okay, does make a difference, especially when it comes to applying for jobs and other people's perceptions of these things. All right. Certificates are normally awarded by a broad range of... I can make my own certificate today, okay, and give it out for some test or some course that I created. Okay. Certifications are more formal normally, and in cybersecurity we have like the big three industry recognized bodies, like ISC Squared, ISACA, and CompTIA, which are nonprofit organizations. Okay, I'm not talking about commercial folks, because we know Microsoft and Cisco and all them people, they have their certifications as well. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about here. Maintenance, you don't have to do... You have your certificate, you got it. You can take it with you to the grave. And it'll be the same value as it was when you first got it. Okay, now a certification, we know, requires maintenance. Okay, you have to keep that up. You have to put, show that you've been keeping up with your skills. You got to pay for the next thing. Some of folks have memberships. I mean, it's a whole industry. All right. And of course, the costs, you're typically going to pay more for certification than you will a certificate. Okay. Now, that's not to say certifications are better than certificates. Okay. There is room and there is need for these kind of programs. Okay. For certificate programs. So let's not be, but let's keep that straight. So what else is in here? Okay, some of the core concepts to learn, and these are really good things especially if you're not sure yet what you want to do in cyber. these are very good places to start as far as your learning. So first of all, the business of cybersecurity. Okay, we got to know that, y'all. And there's many of us who've been in the industry for a while and have no idea what cyber has to do with the business. Like all we know is what we do when we go in at 9 and leave at 7 or 6 or 5 or whatever your schedule is. Like that's all we know. We have no idea, anything beyond that. And that's a shame. That's not why we're there. We got to know. We have to know. So the business of cybersecurity is a good place to start. And again, these are good places to start to get certificates. Okay, just find you some free stuff somewhere on YouTube or whoever. There's free cyber training all over the world. I mean, the cyber world. Okay, you can find it anywhere. Cybersecurity policy and compliance. Now, when I took when I was my first cybersecurity job, I got my CGRC. Okay, I had to go to the class, the boot camp, and all that stuff. I'm sitting in that boot camp, listening to them talk about IT systems. They're talking about risk management. They're talking about POAMs. Okay. They're talking about vulnerabilities and mitigating vulnerabilities and SCAP scans and STIGs. And I'm like, hold on a second. I was like, I should have known this before I took the Security Plus. I would have been halfway there by the time I got to the Security Plus. I'm like, what's going on here? Like I had no idea about policy and compliance and risk management. This stuff right here, this is central to, I don't care what you're doing in cybersecurity. If you're red team, you're a pen tester, you're digital forensics, this stuff right here is central to what you're doing. Okay, because that's what cyber is. Cyber is risk management. Or I know that's not as sexy as as we want to think it should be, but that's what it is. It's risk management in the digital world. That's all it is. Okay. So this stuff right here is, and what is it? CDSC, I believe it is CDSC. They have a lot of free training. So that's the stuff that DCSA manages. The people who give you your background checks. If you go to cdsc.org maybe or .com, .something, you'll find a lot of free stuff here. And also NIST. NIST has that free risk management stuff. However, NIST is government. Okay, so you gotta speak that language to really understand those courses. They're free and they're very good, but you're gonna need a translator next to you for a lot of that stuff. Okay, however, it is free. And on their site, they have a lot of things, a list of places where you can get free training. Hardware, software, network, data, security, architecture. Okay, I know it sounds like a lot. But this stuff is good to know, and it's important, and again, no matter what you're doing, it's going to be useful. And again, you can get a certificate. Nobody's telling you to get certified and all these things. All right. This stuff is like foundational type things. Okay. And I have here in these, what is this? What you will learn, why this is important, and examples of where you're going to actually apply this stuff on the job. Okay. On the job. You hear I said on the job? Yes. All right. What else? Emerging technologies. Of course, you got to have this stuff right here, especially when you start to get to your proficiency projects. Okay, not your performance projects. Performance projects normally end in a certificate. Okay, proficiency stuff. Sometimes a proficiency project don't end in anything except you being more proficient in what you're doing. Okay. The framework, NICE. Now, these are other frameworks. So we have NICE, we have ours, which has just been updated this year, or the update has come out this year. But these are other cybersecurity frameworks, okay? And they're very interesting. So of course, DoD has theirs. They've come out too with their new workforce framework, and it has some differences from the NICE. Like everything in that one is not in the NICE workforce framework because it's for military, it's for defense. They have different things in there. A lot of it is the same though. But like the European one, This is all the Australian one. This one is super interesting because it has the proficiency levels in there. Okay. Now you got to know what you're looking at when you're reading it. And there's one, Saudi Arabia has one that's very interesting too, because ours it's not mandatory. Like you don't have to use the nice cybersecurity work framework, right? You can, it's a, it's best practices and stuff. You'd probably be better off if you do use it, but if you don't, that's fine. Saudi Arabia, you ain't got no choice. If you don't use it, you have to turn in a waiver to say we can't use as part of the framework for this reason and that reason. And other things, like one thing that I saw was mandatory in there is you have to use PCI. You have to adhere to PCI DSS, right? Which is like the credit card thing. And if you can't, you need a waiver and all that. Yeah, and they're really interesting if you really look at them. So I have another module coming out soon that goes a little bit more into what the differences are. But yeah, it is very interesting. And what do I have in a second? Earn cybersecurity certification. So here, earning the certifications. We talk about the industry recognized ones, the ones that are they're vendor neutral. So when you hear industry recognized certification, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about the vendor neutral ones. So that's not Microsoft and Cisco and all those other folks out there who have good certifications, but they're not industry recognized, as far as this definition, okay? Because it's not vendor neutral. They're globally accepted. ISC squared, CompTIA, they're all around the world, okay? I mean, so are some of the businesses, but, they validate core competencies and they have multiple levels, okay? Here are some examples of those. Now, how do you choose the right one? How do you know which one is, because that's a question that I'm sure like many people in cyber who've been in for a while, especially, instructors and stuff, when students get to the class, are like, well, what should I get first? So there's just a couple things right here to consider to determine which one you should get first. This website, Career One Stop, is the best website on the web. Okay. I'm telling you, everything you need is on there. It's like the Amazon for your career. Okay. It's a very, very good website. Test taking strategies. I mean, a lot of certification, unfortunately, but this is just the truth, is about how well you can take an exam. Okay. Versus how well do you understand the content? So depending on what it is. Now, if it's something like OSCP, you need to know what you're doing, okay? Because you're going to have to do it in order to get to the certification, but many of them are, if you're good at taking exams, then you're almost a shoo-in, So there are certain things that you can do to help increase your chance of actually passing the exam. I didn't say increase your chance of understanding the content, because that's a different thing, but actually passing the exam. Okay. And beyond certifications, we definitely want to do that. All right. This is how you can use a job description, to help you with your training and education and the stuff you're trying to do, to pass a cert. So that's this one. Okay. Cybersecurity certificates and certifications. All right. Really good module. Now, the next module, skills first approach to cybersecurity. So with this one right here, just like a week ago or something, the director of national cybersecurity, I forget his name, but over there at the White House, came up with another statement regarding this, how cyber is really and should move towards skill-based hiring. Okay. And what that means is skills-based hiring is about, or skills first. It's like, okay, you have the cert, that's fabulous. You have, 2-3 years experience, whatever. And we're going to talk about that too. That's great. but I still need to see you do it before you get the job. Okay? That's what this means right here. It's not about what you've accumulated. That's not enough. It's turning out to not be enough. Okay? Now, even though you got all that stuff, I need to see it. Show me that you know how to configure this firewall, and then we can talk. Okay? All right. So in this one is, let me go to the last unit, because in the final unit is where we have the toolkit. No, right here, second unit. So there's a whole toolkit here. The job announcement. Now this is for the hiring people, okay? But for if you're trying to get hired, okay, then this is a great place to come, because you kind of see what the hiring managers would be looking for. So in the job announcement, they're updating position descriptions and requirements. What else I have down here? Okay, and posting the jobs in different places to get a broader, to recruit more broadly. Okay, to get a wider selection, wider pool to select from, which is fabulous. Because without skills first, we're really missing a lot of skilled people, who can't afford. It takes money to maintain these certifications. It takes money, and some people can't afford that, but they have the skill. They could perform on the job if if the cert wasn't required. If skills were required, they'd get there. Okay, which is actually what hiring managers want. I don't care what they say. What they want is somebody in there who can do the work. Okay, that's just what it is. Because that's what we want. Isn't that what we want? When you're looking for a babysitter, you're looking for somebody to cut your grass, or prune your trees, or come in and be your chef or something like that. You want to. I mean, they can have all the certs and the this and the that or whatever, but at the end of the day, I need you to do the work and do it well, because that's what I'm paying you for. I'm not paying you for the cert you got or the license you have. I'm paying you for the quality of your work. Okay. So having a broader pool and getting these folks in the door makes nothing but sense. Here's a skills first resume screening rubric. So you could actually take your own resume, and kind of compare and contrast, even though this is for a SOC analyst position. I think it would still work. And then the interview. So they have interview questions down here that could be useful. What a traditional interview question would be: describe the different types of SIM logs you're familiar with, and describe how you use them. Oh, sure, I can do that. Versus, where's the skills first one? Oh, I think it's under here. It's under here, right? During a recent vulnerability scan, we noticed this kind of traffic to an external IP address not on our whitelist. Okay, this aligns with known ransomware IOC. So that's your scenario. Now, here's your question. Walk me through the process to investigate this potential threat. What would you prioritize? Okay, and you might even have a visual in front of you. So they're showing you something. All right, so this skills first interview question versus describe the different types of logs you're familiar with, and describe how you, no, I don't want you to describe nothing. Here go to scenario, walk me through what you do and how you make that a priority. So this is what all of these are. This shows you the traditional question and what the skills first, interview question would look like. So are we prepared for the skills first? If we're not, then we need to get there. We need to get there. And just because we have a cert, we all know that we may not be prepared. Okay. But so we got to get prepared. So the last unit right here is the skills assessment. Now I went on USA Jobs, and there was something, I don't know, small business, I think, something like that. These people wanted me to fill out a 3-part skills assessment. Okay, which was cool. I mean, I like taking assessments. I do. I really do. It's crazy, but I do. But yeah, These are popping up more. These various assessments here. So you have technical skills, things that look for that. They look for non-technical, cognitive ability, what kind of personality you have, to see if people could work with you. What kind of situational judgment you have. So there's all kinds of skills assessments out there that go along with this. Um, that go along with this skills first approach. Now, like I said, all that stuff up there that I already went over, that's for people who are hiring other people, maybe trainers, educators, stuff like that. But for us, those of us who are looking for jobs, those of you who are looking for jobs, there are implications for us too, right? Because if hiring managers are going to start asking me, even though you said you needed a cert, I got it. You said you needed this many years of experience, I got that too. I meet the basic qualifications. Okay, it's time for me to interview. Now you're telling me, okay, I know you gave me all that stuff. Your resume is beautiful, but show me. Show me. Are we ready for show me? We got to get ready for show me if we're not. Okay. Now, the last one I want to share tonight, the value of security controls. Now, being an RMF, I love security controls. Of all the things to love, I have a whole scenario. I like everything. Okay. So let me show you I'm just going to show you one thing here. Actually, two. This right here. Because, to be honest, when you talk to businesses, think about your own business. Think about your own business. Do you care? Really, especially if it wasn't your job. You didn't have a job in cyber. You're like the head of a flower shop chain or something like that. And somebody comes up to you talking about account and access control. Like what? So this right here, I tried to come up with a really great analogy for what these things would actually be, uh, as far as risk management is concerned, okay, for a business. So all of these control families, now this is based on the CIS, not the NIST, okay, Center for Internet Security stuff. So for all these control groups, asset management, okay, it's akin to this kind of information. So how important for your business, or not even for your business, for your house, how important is it for you to have reliable information when you're making a decision? Before you make a decision, having reliable information. How important is that? How important is it to have traceable, the traceable information? Okay. For what reason would you need things to be traced and to know the back history and what happened last week, versus what's going on this week? How important is that to you? Resilient information, accessible information. How important is it that information you need to run your business is accessible? You can get to it, whenever you need to get to it. So I think that's just a simpler way to talk to folks about these control groups. Otherwise, it's like, okay, just tell me what I got to do so I don't, lose the contract, or so that I can get the contract, or otherwise, just go back to work. Okay. Yeah. So we have to be, you got to be sensitive to that, because you don't want people talking to you about nonsense that for you doesn't have any meaning. You got other things to do. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. We have to start where people are, not where we want them to be. Okay. So starting where they are, you want to talk to them in a way that, number one, is simple, and they don't have to try to figure out what you're saying. And then that means something. Okay. And this just explains the car graph. All right. Okay. So that's really all that I wanted to show tonight. Let me stop sharing. Okay, here I am. that's all I wanted to show tonight. And to talk to y'all about the, the generative AI thing. You see on my screen, epiphany.org. That's my new website. It's not done yet, but you can go over there and just look at what is done now. And ask me any questions about anything you see on my About Me page. I spend a lot of time on that page, and I got a lot of stuff on that page that ain't none of y'all business. Okay, but I put it on there anyway. So thanks for being here, and I'll talk to y'all later.